Buckle up, nerds. We have 140 new releases to go over for 2026. Hi, cuties. Welcome to another day of Litmas. I am going to try to do this better this year and actually do these on time. So we're going to go over the first quarter's new releases that I know about and either am mildly excited about or thought maybe you guys would be excited about. Most of these are gonna be fantasies, I'm not gonna lie. There might be some other smattering in there, but it's gonna predominantly be fantasy because that's predominantly what I read. But again, there might be some other ones here. So we have a long way to go. Get your pencils out, get your notebooks out, get your spreadsheets out, whatever. Get your Goodreads or your Storygraph or something ready to add these to your TBR. All right. I'm so sorry. I apologize ahead of time for those who were trying to get their TBRs down. I'm sorry. You're going to add some more probably. And I do apologize because there's so many of these. I may need to refresh myself. We'll see how fast I can get through these. If they sound at all interesting to you, add them to your TBR. If they don't, move along. We have Tea and Alchemy by Sharon Lynn Fisher. This comes out January 1st, 2026. A tea leaf reader in 19th century England falls in love and in danger with a reclusive alchemist in an enthralling historical fantasy. Hey, and that's all I'm going to tell you guys about it. But it's got that type of cover that I like to see. There you go. All right. Next up, we have Tide Speaker by Sadie Turner. A girl with the power to command the tides has her life change when she secures a job serving a wealthy, noble family, only to learn upon arrival that the last person to fill her post mysteriously died, and her new employers are hiding dark secrets in this haunting and lush debut fantasy. And this comes out January 6th, 2026. Ooh, there's a giveaway right now, too. All right, next up, we have a sequel. We have A War of Wyverns by S.F. Williamson. This is the secret to A Language of Dragons, which I still need to read. I won't read you the thing here, but it looks really cool. It looks really fun. I'm very excited to be reading the series once I get to it, but fantasy dragons, heck yeah. Next up, we have The Wind Witch Murders by Casey Dunn. Her mother took secrets to the grave. They didn't stay buried. This is a mystery book. Hey, look at that. It's not just fantasy. It's also a mystery. Yee, also a January 6th. We have The Swan's Daughter by Roshni Chokshi. This also comes out January 6th. A prince is only as good as his beating heart, and a maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and the truth become impossibly tangled, the two must figure out how to survive together or fall completely apart. I like Roshni Chokshi a lot, so this was easily going to go on the TBR. All right, next up we have the next book in Wayward Children, Through the Gates of Garnet and Gold by Shauna McGuire, another January 6th. Fan favorite will return with this. I guess we're doing Nancy, which I only remember the first book and I read it a while ago and I just don't remember much. I might need to reread before I continue. We have Into the Midnight Wood by Alexandra McCollum, a whimsical fantasy romance about two mismatched roommates whose fragile and definitely not romantic at all balance is upended by an impending family wedding and an otherworldly danger in the nearby enchanted wood. All right, this one comes out January 13th. It is queer. Cozy queer. All right. Next up, we have A Barista's Guide to Love and Larceny. Another cozy fantasy romance combines magic, college life, and first love into a sweetly brewed and delicious read about a girl roped into investigating a company's dangerous product. Ooh. We have The Bookbinder's Secret by A.D. Bell. This is a historical mystery coming out on January 13th. Every book tells a story. This one tells a secret. A young bookbinder begins a hunt for the truth when a confession hidden beneath the binding of a burned book reveals a story of forbidden love, lost fortune, and murder. That sounds fun. All right, we have The Luminous Fairies and Mothra. This is the translated because it was originally published in 1961, so the translation is coming out this year. This is the original story that hatched Mothra, one of the most beloved monsters in the kaiju-verse, available in English for the very first time. And this is by Shinichiro Nakamura, Takehiko Fukunaga, and Yoshie Hotta, and more. Apparently it's translated by Jeffrey Engels. There you go. I'm excited for that one. My brother-in-law is probably really excited about that because he's a huge Godzilla fan. We have City of Others by Jared Poon. Dive into a world where magic lies hidden just below the surface in this charming urban fantasy full of workplace found family, queer romance, and supernatural creatures straight out of a Southeast Asian lore from debut author Jared Poon. comes out January 13th. We have The Age of Calamities by Sena Ahmed. For fans of Karen Russell and Carmen Maria Machado, The Age of Calamities is a genre-defying, mind-bending collection of absurdist, funny, and speculative short stories. This one says it's January 1st, but it's also right here, says January 13th, which is why it's there. Beautiful. We have book 4 in the series. This is The East Wind by Alexandria Warwick. I think I've seen this around, so for people who've read the rest of the series, The East Wind's coming out. It's the final installment in the Four Winds series, but each of them are like standalone romances inspired by fairy tales. Rapunzel and the Greek myth of Psyche and Eros is this one. So each of them I do think stand alone and are different things. So we have Rapunzel and Psyche and Eros. Beautiful. Next up we have Godfall by Van Jensen. It doesn't have that little thingamajiggy, but we have a massive asteroid hurtling toward Earth. Humanity is bracing for annihilation, but it doesn't come because it's actually aliens. All right. And this one is getting republished, I believe, as well. I might have been in indie first as well, and is now getting published on 2026. It was originally in 2023, but yes, it was an indie. Look at that, Forward Indies Book of the Year award. There you go. Next up, we have A Vow in Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. Deadly terror, wicked schemes, dangerous alliances. Can you survive the forge? Apparently it's sexy, action-packed, and brimming with magic. Unputdownable romancy debut. Next up, we have Hollow by Selena Myers. This is another republish. It was originally published in 2021. Selena has said that she has re-edited it because apparently the original version was not edited at all when she was baby author and didn't know anything. We've all been there. But it is now being published January 13th. And we have a deluxe. Yes, TikTok sensation. So if you know the girl who sleepwalks, that's what she's most famous for. She also does a lot more and just recently had a baby through surrogacy. So congratulations to Selena for that. But it's about a woman who finds her destiny and her family after being turned into a vampire. So if you need more vampire books, boom. We have A Killer Kind of Romance by Letizia Lorini. In this new romance from USA Today bestseller, I've never heard of her. A crime podcast host must solve a chilling serial killer case while navigating an unexpected romance with her mysterious next-door neighbor. So we have a contemporary mystery romance. Ooh. We have a book 3 in a series, and that is The Magic of Untamed Hearts. And after several years stuck as a ghost, Sky Flores learns to reconnect with the living again with the help of her handsome neighbor in the lush romance from the author of The Witch of Wild Things. Okay. But I do think these books are all also like companion standalones, so I don't think you necessarily have to read them in order. We have The Book of Blood and Roses by Annie Summerlee. It is book 1 of a seductive sapphic paranormal fantasy. A vampire hunter goes undercover at a mysterious university and falls in love with her roommate, an alluring vampire. Whoops! This one also comes out January 13th. We're basically in all the January 13ths right now. I have a Starling Nights, a brand new gripping romance for fans of dark academia. Guys, you gotta stop doing this. And I get why this is done, but when Amazon creates your book title and you do this in your title, it's gonna do that with your Goodreads entry too. Anyway, it says it's the secret history meets Twilight in this gripping dark academia, which took the German bestsellers Hearts by storm. So this also might have been a translated book, if you're looking for that. Im Schatten der Wahrheit. So it's getting an English version, possibly. Is that what this version might be? But it's a dark academia. But yeah, I hate when this happens. I hate that so much. We have The Reader by Hope E. Davis. Perfect for fans of Quicksilver and for the plot of Quicksilver and the magic system of One Dark Window, which I've read neither so far yet. This is an indie book. It's a self-published book, and I do see a couple typos in the description, which, hopefully it's just in the description. Worst Case Scenario by Ray Stev. I don't know how you do it when it's the O and the E. I think it's Stev. I think it turns into an kind of sound. We have an enemies to lovers romance about nemesis who are forced to share their school's queer alliance presidency following a tie in the election. YA contemporary queer romance. This one comes out January 20th. We have Soul of a Gentleman Witch by David Ferraro. Perpetually 17, Callum the Witch has been in the service of Lucifer collecting souls as his own soul is indebted to the devil until he completes his 666 tasks for him. This should be really fun. But it's another YA fantasy queer. and comes out January 20th. We've got Bitchcraft by Aaron Reese Bex Glendening. Wow, who is the colorist? This is a comic. And Morgan Martinez was the letterer. And Lima Carell was the illustrator. Modern day New York City permanent supernatural eclipse. We're going to follow a queer coven bound by magic and blood, each bringing their own flair to the pretentious oracle who speaks with gods, an emo necromancer with a forked tongue, and a nature witch with the soul of a fairy tale princess. Okay. George Falls Through Time by Ryan Collette. Les meets the year 1300 in this exhilarating and thoughtfully genre-defying literary novel about a man transported through time in a moment of extreme stress, whose modern anxieties are replaced by medieval brutalities. It should be kind of fun. The Poet Empress by Shen Tao, another debut author who introduces readers to a lush, deadly world of the Poet Empress. A sweeping, epic, and intimate fantasy perfect for fans of Serpent and the Wings of Night, Song of Achilles, and She Who Became the Sun. That's all I know about it. If All the Stars Go Dark by S.G. Prince. When 18-year-old Keller Hartman is recruited into the Legion's most prestigious galactic unit, it's a dream come true. He's worked hard for this. He's ready to prove himself. The problem? His new partner. The beautiful, no-nonsense pilot, Lament Bringer, wants nothing to do with him. Nice. A Wild Radiance by Maria Ingrande Mora, a searing and romantic fantasy adventure about an oligarchic state on the verge of a magical industrial revolution, perfect for fans of Arcane, Wicked, and Iron Widow. Cool. The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. When you lose your way in life, the Elsewhere Express just might find you. Step aboard the train that can take you to your life's purpose. And a cozy and inspiring fantasy from the nationally best-selling author of Watermoon, which I haven't read yet, but it is on my list. Anne of a Different Island by Virginia Contra. I will always pick up any Anne of Green Gables retelling that comes into my life. We learn to be the heroine of our own life in this heartfelt novel inspired by Anne of Green Gables, which I think this one's a girl who really wants to be Anne of Green Gables, and maybe things don't turn out the way she thinks. I don't know. But yeah. Sequel, Enchanting the Fae Queen by Stephanie Burgess. This is a sequel to Wooing the Witch Queen, which was a very fun time. But we had these other evil queen kind of characters, and so I think each one of them is getting their own book. So we're going to start off with the Fae Queen in this one. This one comes out January 27th. We're moving into the 27th now. Last First Kiss by Julian Winters. Sparks fly in this second chance male rom-com when an unlucky in-love event manager realizes the man of honor at the high-profile wedding he's planning is the same man who broke his heart. A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing by Alice Evelyn Yang. A dark, magical realist debut family saga that moves through the Japanese occupation of Manchuria, the Cultural Revolution, and the present day to explore the effects of intergenerational trauma and the legacy of colonialism and the inescapability of fate. So we have a magical realism historical fiction. I always like reading about any kind of Asian history. The Great Disillusionment of Nick and Jay by Ryan Douglas. This is a this is just a queer retelling of The Great Gatsby where Nick and Jay are into each other, which is always my preferred version of Great Gatsby because it is one of my least favorite classics. But I know a lot of people love Great Gatsby out there, so here you go. Here's a queer version of it. Burn Down Master's House by Clay Kane. Inspired by true, long-buried stories of enslaved people who dared to fight back, a searing portrayal of resistance for readers of Colson Whitehead, Jessamine Ward, and Percival Everett from Clay Kane, award-winning journalist and New York Times bestselling author of The Grift, which I have not read. Ballad of the Bone Road by A.C. Wise. This is a paranormal urban fantasy. It doesn't have a fun thing, but for the first paragraph, Port Astor is a city of secrets. Once home to the Hollow Queen and her court, the Fae have been driven out by industrialists and religious leaders, but just below the surface, their legacy remains in traceries of hidden roads, strange apparitions, and spectral hauntings. We Who Have No Gods by Liza Anderson. In a world of witches, a human woman must hunt or be hunted in this explosive gothic dark academia fantasy filled with war-bent rivals, guarded secrets, and simmering chemistry. We have Monster in the Moonlight, which is Monster Hunter Book 4. I think this might also be another one that is you can read at any point. Do werewolves exist? That's the question skeptical cryptozoologist Morgan Carter has to answer in the latest entry in the mystery series of the US Today best-selling mystery series. So you might need to read them in order. I don't know, but it seems really fun. Let's have fun with it, you know? Sundown Girls by L.S. Stratton, a YA thriller about a black teen whose family vacation to a town with a terrifying history becomes a desperate search for two missing girls and a fight for survival. Another 27th mystery thriller. See, I don't always do all fantasy. And look at nonfiction. We have Spinosaur Tales, The Biology and Ecology of the Spinosaurs by David Hahn and Mark Whitten. Whitten, yeah. The Spinosaurs, the controversial group that includes the largest land predator of all time. The awe-inspiring Spinosaurus are brought to life in this remarkable and cutting-edge review of their biology and ecology. So if you're a dinosaur nerd like me, you're gonna want to read it. Princess Mononoke, the film comic, all in one edition. So there are comics of this. There's several of these coming out. I don't know when exactly everybody's coming out, but I know Princess Mononoke is coming out 27th. This is my second favorite of the Ghiblis. So I'm very excited about this. It'll be 856 pages. Amazing. Silver and Blood by Jessie Mihalik. On a deadly mission to kill the mythical beast that has been haunting her woods, a desperate mage finds her fate intertwined with the handsome and powerful man who saves her. You know, if you like your romances, here's a romancy for you. To Ride a Rising Storm by Monoquill Blackgoose. Anequis has not only survived her first year at Kuiper's... Oh, this is a sequel, by the way. Sorry. I shouldn't be reading that. This is a sequel in Nampeshiwaisit, number 2. Ah, yes. To Shape a Dragon's Breath is the first one in the series. That's why, because I already want to read it. So if you liked that book, the second book is coming out. Lost Girls of Hollow Lake by Rebecca Faubion. After a group of teens visits a dangerous island where 3 are left, the surviving girls realize they must return to confront the sinister force haunting them. Ooh, dark YA thriller, perfect for fans of Yellow Jackets. Masquerade, which is the third book in Micah Gray by our fave L.R. Lamb, and this does have intersex rep. That was fun. Anyway, it's the third book in that series. If you've read Pantomime or need to read Pantomime, the third book is coming out. It was originally published in 2017, but the newest edition will be coming out on January 27th. The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman. Madeline Miller meets Angela Carter in the spellbinding queer retelling of the 12th century tale of Bisclavret, the werewolf, unmissable for fans of Uprooted, Swordcross, and The Bear and the Nightingale. I'm down. Our final January book is A Spell for Drowning by Rebecca Ferrier. It's a stunning historical fantasy debut, is steeped in the salt and superstition of the Cornish coast, full of forgotten sirens, mischievous sea gods, and the lore from days long since past. Perfect for readers of Circe and the Bear and the Nightingale. That is all of the Januaries. We are moving on to February. I always say February weird. I'm sorry. We have The Epicenter of Forever, a moving story about family, forgiveness, and unexpected love, where the fault lines of a fractured past become the foundation for building something new. Nice little romance. We have The Glowing Hours by Leila Siddiqui. I hope I said that right. A mind-bending revisionist gothic horror story about the fabled summer Mary Shelley began work on Frankenstein, as told by her Indian housemaid. For fans of Silvia Moreno Garcia, Isabel Cañas, and Kathy Koya. Sorry, it's kind of cut off. Kath Koja. Koya? I don't know. But I know everybody out here loves Frankenstein so much, so there you go. Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewel or Isla Jewel. I don't know how you say that name. La la la. In this cozy, witchy rom-com, a young woman works to turn a rundown small-town video store into the bookshop of her dreams, only to discover a powerful magic that's been lying dormant and a forbidden love she can't resist. It should be fun. Should be cute. The Midnight Boy by E.A. Allen. The cover is coming soon, apparently. Oh, it's right here. Maybe I should just click on the correct one. There's the first one. This one comes out February 3rd. A gritty Victorian London adventure for young and adult readers following an orphan's transformation into a legend on the city's shadowy streets. Very cool. Good time. He's the Devil by Toby Coventry. An exhilarating, darkly comic debut, a novel about a do-gooder whose world is turned inside out when his new roommate, who might be possessed by the devil, moves in. I've been in that situation before. It's okay. We have Carnival Fantastico by Angela Montoya, an unputdownable romantasy following a young woman posing as a fortune teller at a magical traveling carnival, where the handsome boy who once broke her heart resurfaces and warns her that the carnival is more sinister than it appears. Stolen Midnights by Catherine Quinn. A magical new YA romantasy set in Andale, a world where the ruling fates bestow gifts among the favored. A thief must join forces with the palace darling after he unwittingly steals a necklace with the power to change everything. We have The Lies That Summon the Night by Tessonia Odette. And lies, beauty, and seduction mingle in the first book of an enthralling romantasy series where making art is considered a sin, and the shadows born from it aren't the only danger to the creators. This one comes out February 17th. We're doing a bit of a jump there. But we're going to go backwards because apparently it was in the wrong order. Whoops. We have a third in a series of The Ashen. We have Dawn of the North by Demi Winters coming out on February 3rd as well. A Practical Guide to Dating a Demon by Hannah Reynolds. This one also comes out February 3rd. A student finds herself accidentally betrothed to a demon and investigating his connection to the magical irregularities plaguing her city. Cozy, whimsical YA romantasy. Sibylline by Melissa de la Cruz. 3 teens infiltrate the magical Ivy League in this heart-stopping dark academia romantasy. And it's the first in a young adult duology. Boy with Accidental Dinosaur by Ian McDonald. Yeah, it was just immediately like, yeah, give me the dinosaur. Come one, come all to the dinosaur circus. Yeah, I'll read that. Easy. Apparently, Sir Cameron Needs to Die by Greer Stothers. In this hilarious, off-the-wall queer fantasy romance, a reclusive sorcerer is forced to protect a cowardly knight after a prophecy ties their fates together. Sold. Songbird of the Sorrows by Brady Otto. An outcast princess turned spy embarks on a mission to infiltrate a rival kingdom, but the secrets she uncovers force her to decide whether to follow orders or defy them. Ooh. Now, this is also getting a new edition in 2025. It was an indie. And then the Audible, this is for the audio release. That's why it's on this list. Audible is coming out in 2026, February 10th, 2026. So if you want the audio version of this, that is when it comes out. To the Death by Andrea Tang. This one comes out also February 10th. 2 teens are pitted against each other in a magical duel for revenge, but they'll have to fight their growing attraction first. In the YA fantasy thriller. All right. We have A Forest Darkly by A.G. Slatter, a page-turning dark fantasy of witches, twisted magic, changelings, and the sins that bind. Set in the award-winning author's acclaimed universe, this immersive story is perfect for fans of Ava Reid, Hannah Witten, and Lucy Holland. Secondhand Luck, which is the second book in the Shadow Age series by Kim Harrison. I don't know if you have to read these in order, but yeah. Look at the puppy. It's like Paul on a walk. Call of the Dragon by Natasha Bowen. Aragon meets African mythology in a kingdom where dragon gods rule the earth and sky until the gods are betrayed and one girl embarks on a journey to save the world from war and ruin. Very cool. Also February 10th. The Curse Queen's Daughter, which is the sequel in Thirstwood, which I know this one. This is why it's on this, but it's by Ellie Blake. Is it like the Storytellers? Something? Forest King's Daughter storyteller. Wow. Forest King's Daughter was the first book. We have A Warrior Princess Falls for a Shadow Prince. That's all it really gives us in that little mini blurb. Wandering Queen by Claire Haywood. An epic and fiercely imaginative retelling of the story of Queen Dido, the legendary founder of Carthage. Woohoo. New Claire Haywood. Strange Animals by Jared K. Anderson. An ordinary man discovers a hidden world of wondrous supernatural creatures and an unexpected home in this enchanting contemporary fantasy debut. I'm gonna have to read that for sure for Hisvacac. That sounds like a comp title if I ever heard one. Ember and Ash by Lisa Renee Jones. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. In the duck of the night, you will find her. Sorry. There is passion and destruction, apparently, in this one, and it's coming out February 10th. All right, we have the third book in the Baby Dragon. We have the Baby Dragon Bookshop. I'm so excited for this one, because I have the first 2, but neither of them are a bookshop. And this is by Amna Qureshi, and I think it's going to be cute. They're little cozy fantasy romances with baby dragons. Who doesn't want a baby dragon? This Wretched Beauty, a Dorian Gray remix. There's a whole bunch of remix classics out there. This is the newest in them. This one comes out February 17th. We have The Fox Hunt by Caitlin Breeze, also February 17th. Behind closed doors at England's most ancient university, a circle of privileged students enter into a dark pagan ritual, one that holds tantalizing power and comes at a terrible price. We have The Obake Code by Makana Yamamoto, an all-new standalone sci-fi caper from the author of Hamajang Luck, if you liked that one. A bored hacker is forced by vicious gangsters to take down a crooked politician, only to find herself up against a code she might not be able to crack. This one's a February 10th. I had a mix-up here. And also, it is The Obake Code. If any of y'all out there are saying The Obake Code, I will jump through the screen and slap you. Okay, cool. Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. We have a new book from her after Emily Wilde's finished, so I am very excited about this. A woman who runs a cat rescue in 1920s Montreal turns to a grouchy but charming wizard to help save the shelter in a heartwarming, cozy fantasy. I trust Heather Fawcett with a lot, so I'm excited for this next one. Half City by Kate Golden. Welcome to Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. Keep your daggers sharp and your... Did I say sharp? Keep your daggers sharp. Keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper. February 17th. The Sun and the Star Maker by Rachel Griffin. I really like Rachel Griffin's writing style. There once was a village so far north that most considered it to the top of the world. And in that village, the sun fell in love with her Star Maker. Gods Beneath the Ice, which is a sequel in the Blood and Souls duology by Alexandra Kennington, if you already know about that. Cool. Halifax Hellions by Alexandra Vasti. I read an Alexandra Vasti earlier this year, and it was very, very fun, so I do recommend her writing. It's a fun time. The Faithful Dark by Kate Baumer, which comes out February 19th. It was originally published in April 2nd, but there's a new ones, because it was an indie, and now... That's why I recognize it. This is the cover I recognize. But it has been picked up, apparently. We have angels, demons, serial killers in a fantasy Vatican. So much beautifully written longing. The Gods Must Burn by T.R. Moore. A disgraced war hero is transformed into the wolf god, protector of the forest god, and must earn her trust in this healing dark fantasy for fans of The Wolf and the Woodsman and Princess Mononoke. Well, you got me at Princess Mononoke. This one comes out February 24th. Wicked and the Damned, which is the second book in the Dark Inheritance trilogy by Rebecca Robinson. I won't tell you much about it because it is a sequel. And if you haven't read the first one, I don't want to spoil stuff. But there you go. After the Fall by Edward Ashton. Part alien invasion story, part buddy comedy, and part workplace satire. Sold. Limelight by Andrew Keenan Bulger. Fame meets Rent. Whoa. In this powerful YA debut about a boy who must reconcile with his identity and insecurity as he steps into the spotlight from Broadway star Andrew Keenan Bulger. Okay. We have Myth Speaker by Christopher Robique. For fans of Race to the Sun and the Arusha series, the epic fantasy adventure inspired by indigenous American mythology follows a band of misfit children who must pull off an impossible heist in order to save the world. A Secret in the Garden by Janine O'Reilly. It comes first in a series of deliciously dark and whimsical standalone romances, so that's nice. There'll be a series of them, but they're all standalones. This one comes out February 24th. A Rose of Blood and Binding by Claire Legrand, which is the third in the Middle Mist trilogy, also coming out February 24th. We have The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox by Katrina Kwong. Author of The Last Dragon of the East, comes a sweeping fantasy adventure with a dash of romance between a nine-tailed fox and the demon hunter who captures her, banished to the underworld together and forced to form a reluctant alliance in order to escape the circles of hell. Well, that sounds super fun. The Girls Before by Kate Alice Marshall. So if all those mystery thriller people out there knew, Kate Alice Marshall is dropping on February 24th. A new novel about a search and rescue expert, a kidnapped woman, and the lost girls who haunt them both. We have The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. A tragic love story, a bewitching twist on history, and a blood-drenched hunt for purpose, power, and redemption. The Red Winter by debut author Cameron Sullivan is the story of the first werewolf. That should be fun. Cleopatra by Sarah El Arifi. Queen legend Cleopatra tells her own story in this evocative and sensuous historical epic, Cleopatra. All right. So this is the author of Feybound, which I really am upset that I didn't really like Feybound all that much. It didn't vibe with me, so I'm hoping I like this one more. We'll see. Lonesome Ridge by Maisie H, which is the third book in Rustler Mountain. I do think these are also all standalones in the same universe. Tourists may flock to Rustler Mountain, Oregon for its Wild West reenactments, but for locals, the feuds between the outlaws and the lawmen are still very much alive in this swoon-inducing contemporary Western series. All right. Ghost Women by Jennifer Murphy. A mysterious art academy in the woods, a deck of ancient tarot cards, a centuries-old secret. Ghost Women. I like the tree owl. That's a good design. I like that design. And finally, for February, we have The Beasts We Raise by D.L. Taylor, which was The Beasts We... What was the first book? I read the first book and I really, really liked it too. So we finally get the second book in the series, which is coming out. Now it says March 3rd, but it might be February 24th. So I think this is depending on where you live. But I'm excited for it. I really, really like it. Yeah. Moving on to March. We have Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandra. Rhoda DeMarcus has never been afraid of the dead. Her power to summon spirits has awed the guests of her esteemed family's galas for as long as she can remember. Her future is certain, and her gift will be another shining jewel in the DeMarcus legacy. But she's going to fail a trial of some sort, I can see. To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast, which is the first book in a new series. Enter the brutal world of Endlock, a prison where the wealthy hunt inmates for sport. The first novel in an electrifying dystopian romance series, this high-octane debut about forbidden love, found family, and a fight for survival will leave you breathless. Let's hope you do dystopian romance better than some other people we know. Her Hidden Fire by, don't even want to attempt this name, something O'Sullivan. I know it is an Irish name. It's not going to be what I think it is, so I'm not even going to try. It's probably like Beth or something. This is the first book in a new romantic trilogy. If he has the ability to wield magical powers, everyone will rejoice, especially the girl who loves him. But what happens when they realize she has the gift? March 3rd. The Sisters of Book Row by Shelley Noble. A thrilling and timeless historical novel of books, banning, and the women who helped save New York's famed Book Row from best-selling author Shelley Noble. Historical fiction. Black as Diamond by U.M. Agwawike. I hope I said that name right. I'm so sorry. Agwawike. A cursed warrior, a reckless healer, a chance to save the world, or condemn it. That's a hard one to choose. Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hockhauser. A breathtaking reimagining of Cinderella as told through the eyes of its iconic evil stepmother, revealing a propulsive love story about the lengths a mother will go for her children. Coming out March 3rd. The Ruins Beneath Us by Sasha Sloan. First book in a romantasy duology, and this is a TikToker, because it says TikTok star, Sasha E. Sloan, which, honestly, I don't think we should be using that. This one apparently is a compelling love triangle, luscious world building, and spellbinding magic to deliver a debut with everything romantasy readers crave. We'll see. It's hard to trust TikTok books. It's really hard. We have Small Town Slasher by Stephanie Rose. A small town, a dark past, Jenna Wilcott is a spunky, disabled horror fanatic who visits rural Montana for a stay at a horror-themed rental cabin. Yeah, this will go great. Burn the Water by Billy Ray. The screenwriter of The Hunger Games, Billy Ray comes an immersive and breathtaking enemies to lover epic romance about war, loyalty, and the power that love has to save or destroy. We'll see, sir. We have The Half-Hearted Queen, which is the sequel in the Shattered King series by Charlie N. Holmberg. Also coming out March 3rd. The Last Starborn Seer by Venetia Constantine. What a name. This one comes out March 5th. We have Leilani Stellarian is Cursed. And that's all I'm going to give you. First Step by Tao Wong. Now, this was originally published in 2019. It has been picked up and is now coming out on March 10th. This should be a fun martial arts book. And that's all I know about it. Cabaret in Flames by Hachi Pueo. We're returning after... This is a novella. where Interview with a Vampire meets certain dark things in an alternate Brazil where brutal, flesh-hungering gulls stalk the night streets and manipulate the government from their glittering cabaret. How Not to Conjure a Boyfriend by Jordan Green. Standing at the foot of my comatose crush's hospital bed is not how I envisioned becoming Hayden's partner. First, I needed to find out if he's even into the theys. Then, hopefully, some flirting, a cute date up in the valley or at Taco Bell. A kiss. So I think this might be When You Were Sleeping retelling a little bit. Not retelling, but we might have a bit of that. Has a cuter brother who I might be falling for? Yeah, this is a When You Were Sleeping retelling. It's a queer When You Were Sleeping, which is one of my favorite movies. I do like that one a lot. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. We have The Midnight Muse by Joe Kaplan. When a metal band's lead singer vanishes in the woods, the mushrooms in the forest might know more than they're letting on in this mycelium metal horror novel from Shirley Jackson Award-nominated author Joe Kaplan. Coming out March 10th. No Friend to This House by Natalie Haynes, an extraordinary reimagining of the myth of Medea from Sunday Times bestselling author of Stoneblind, Natalie Haynes. New mythology drop. This one says it comes out September 11th, 2025, or it came out, but there is another edition. I do think Natalie Haynes' books come out in the UK before the US, so I'm not sure which release this actually is. But yeah, this one, I think it's the US release that's coming out. These Shattered Spires by Cassidy Ellis Salter. In the rotten and bloody world, 4 magical rivals are forced to work together to avoid certain death in a deadly competition. A queer gothic fantasy YA, perfect for fans of the Atlas Six and Gideon the Ninth. Oh no, I didn't like either of those books. Well, we'll see. Hell's Heart by Alexis Hall. New Alexis Hall. Again, Gideon the Ninth meets Moby Dick. I'm so sad I didn't like Gideon the Ninth, guys. I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't vibe. I just didn't vibe. And I really hate Moby Dick. But I do like Alexis Hall. So convince me, Alexis Hall. The Fox and the Devil by Kirsten White. An obsession with a beautiful serial killer entangles a vampire hunter's daughter in an immortal sapphic romance in this enthralling gothic fantasy. All right. Entwined by H.M. Long. 3 sisters join the hunt for a stolen magical artifact in the start of this Gilded Age fantasy duology. Brighter Than 9 by June C.L. Tan, which is the sequel to Darker by 4, which I still need to read. But it comes out March 10th. Ruinous Creatures by Jessie Cole Jackson. For fans of One Dark Window and T. Kingfisher comes a standalone romantasy debut about a woman who accidentally awakens the power to siphon magic from 2 phoenix skulls, binding her fate to a vengeful stranger and forcing them to navigate the devastating cost of their unbreakable bond. March 10th. Bitter Bloom by Tegan Olivia King. For fans of Hannah Witten and Ava Reid comes a thrilling new fantasy by the author of Spit Back the Bones. In a village plagued by mysterious death, Adelaide Thorne wonders if she truly is touched by the devil. March 10th. Innamorata by Ava Reid. Speaking of Ava Reid, visionary and atmospheric gothic fantasy about necromancy, vengeance, and soul-consuming love. First in a duology. This one comes out March 17th. The Bear Hunter's Daughters, A Tale of 7 Sisters by Anneli Jordal and Nicholas Smalley, who is the translator. In this modern-day fairy tale, 7 sisters raised in the woods fight to keep their freedom. Yes, this was a Finnish book. It was in Finland. Oh, so then it wouldn't be Jordal, would it? Be Jordal. I'm so sorry. We have Heiress of Nowhere by Stacey Lee. An orphan races to uncover a killer who may have come from the sea when she and her beloved orcas fall under suspicion in this gothic historical mystery. Okie dokie, we have orcas in this one. Daughter of Fate by A.S. Webb. This is a sequel in the Dark Pantheon series. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy or a whatagy, but it is. Cool. Also March 17th. The Somewhat Wicked Witch of Brigandale by C.M. Waggoner. A practical witch must sabotage her beloved son's ascension to the throne in order to keep the kingdom from ruin. In a delightful, cozy fantasy. Doesn't sound cozy to me, but sure. Only Spell Deep by Ava Morgan. Rebecca meets the craft in this dark, atmospheric novel of one witch rediscovering her power while on the run from another willing to kill her for it. Now, I love me the craft, so. We have Where Dreams Fall by R.L. Calder. In a world where witch dreams are guarded... in a world in which dreams are guarded and nightmares are unsanctioned, one woman's unraveling mind may hold the key to everything the Empire fears. March 17th. Moondark by E.A. Field. We have a dark and thrilling reimagining of Frankenstein and the Phantom of the Opera. Okay. Okay, better be good. We have Prodigal Tiger by Samantha Chong, an action-packed YA contemporary fantasy debut that brings vibrant Malaysian folklore to life. Love that. The Book of Fallen Leaves by A.S. Tamaki. The fate of the gods and samurai converge in this Japanese myth-inspired epic fantasy masterpiece. From debut author A.S. Tamaki. Okay. No Man's Land by Richard K. Morgan. This one comes out March 24th. The Great War was supposed to be the war to end all wars, and maybe it would have been, had an even greater otherworldly foe not arisen to extinguish the conflict. Beautiful. The Beheading Game by Rebecca Lemon. Disgraced, beheaded, and out for revenge. We all know what happened to Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn, but what if she woke up the day after her execution and took it upon herself to seek justice? Let's go! Sorry, not sorry about what I said. I'm fine. We have Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher. Something darker than the devil stalks the North Carolina woods in Wolfworm, a new gothic masterpiece. All right. We have Honeysuckle by Bar Fridman Tell. The Bear and the Nightingale meets Wayward in this enchanting, deeply compelling debut about love and power, autonomy and consent. A very, very important theme. House of Spells and Secrets by Ivy Cassidy. When three sisters return to the house that holds their forgotten legacy, the walls whisper of magic betrayal and the secrets their mother never told them. Ooh. This one comes out March 24th. Heir of Twisted Lies by L.J. Andrews, which is the second book in Stonegate, also coming out on March 24th. We have This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews. A page-turning, unforgettable fantasy set in a city peopled with ruffians, spies, malcontents, and murderers. Experience out-of-this-world adventure and dangerous politics as Maggie tries to survive waking up in her favorite fictional world. This one comes out March 31st. The Geomagician by Jennifer Mandula. When a Victorian fossil hunter discovers a baby pterodactyl, she vows to protect him with the help of a fellow scholar, her former fiancé, in this enchanting and transporting historical fantasy. Baby dino, baby dinos. How to Survive the End of the World, a graphic exploration of how to maybe avoid extinction by Katie Dowdy. This is a graphic novel, right? I believe it is an actual graphic novel. Full color graphic novelist takes an engrossing, gleefully existential deep dive into the many, many ways that humanity could and almost did meet its end. The Celestial Seas by T.A. Chang, a tale of identity, love, and the hunt for vengeance in the darkest corners of space. Perfect for fans of Iron Widow and Aurora Rising. Cool! We have The Quarter Queen by Kayla Hardy. A voodoo witch must navigate a magically and racially divided 19th century New Orleans to save her mother and the soul of the city itself in this lush debut novel inspired by the life of Marie Laveau. I don't know anything about Marie Laveau, but maybe you do and you want to read more. The Fourth Wife by Linda Hamilton. The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas meets Sister Wives in a deliciously chilling, darkly romantic historical gothic horror with a feminist slant as a young Mormon woman is haunted by a malevolent presence in the decrepit Salt Lake City mansion she shares with her new husband and his other wives. So, if you like reading about that stuff. And we have The Scoundrel and the Siren by Christy Carlyle. This is the second book in Princess of London. I do think they are also more standalones, like standalone companions. We have A Hunt Through Norfolk, where a legendary treasure hunter and a fierce local woman battle over a Viking horde, each determined to claim it for their own, and neither willing to lose their heart in the process. And finally, our last book for March is The Moonshine Women by Michelle Collins Anderson. In the Prohibition-era Missouri Ozarks, three sisters take over their father's moonshine business in an evocative story of reinvention, sisterhood, and the alchemy of love for readers of Jeanette Walls, Fanny Flagg, Sue Monk-Kidd, and Donna Everhart. Coming out March 31st. And that's it, people! All right, those are all of the new releases that I personally found. There are definitely a lot more in various other genres, but those are the ones that piqued my interest in some way. I won't get to them all, obviously. That's 140 books. But I hope any of those might have sparked your interest and you were able to add them to your own TBRs and get excited for some awesome new releases coming this year. I will definitely try my best to do this as a quarterly basis to help update you all on the new releases, especially for those of you participating in Herkyet and you need that new release space. So there's a bunch for you for January, February, and March of 2026. And I will see you tomorrow, cuties. Bye! Hold for swimming, for rug swimming. Is she blocking you? Baby. It's just Woosie. Get her. Pie. What's the matter?